What's up, people? It is a rainy evening in New York City. Perfect weather for some StarCraft 2. Although there's really no bad weather for StarCraft 2. Unless it's like a hurricane or something and it knocks out your power or your internet. In which case that would be bad weather for StarCraft. We've got a TVZ as usual. This is the orange Terran B breed against the pink Zerg Timbo Slice. The last time these two met, Timbo won their ZVT series 4-2. They did play some Clown Fiesta games, but we're not counting those. So Timbo probably has the advantage. And B-Breed hasn't really been looking too hot lately. We'll see if he can prove me wrong on that statement. It's kinda curious because Timbo, he only really plays B-Breed in a ZVT, whereas B-Breed has a lot of TVZ practice against Timbo, Yellow Jello, Kevin Lee. So logically, B-Breed should be much better, and he has shown that in the past, but lately he's been quite unspectacular. Now Timbo going for a 3-hatch before pool. We haven't seen this out of him for quite some time. And he's gonna get away with it because there is no Reaper. Marine looking for this Overlord, which kind of goes on a wonky little path. Spots the barracks. Now he's gonna need to get away on top of this water tower. Hold up. Aren't they already underwater? So why is there this dome thing that appears to be filled with water? Perhaps it's some other liquid. I don't know. It's space. Let's not try to explain these things. Now Timbo has his 3 bases up. Comments, that's a lot of Marines. Not really, it's 2 Marines. And where was this Overlord going? Oh no! Why did he do that? He was safe. It was safe, but he moved it away and lost that Overlord. Yeah, maybe if he kept it there, B-Breed would have floated a building sooner or later, but it was safe. That poor Overlord had so much to live for. Timbo just droning up, getting more queens. Needs to spend his money. It's only 3.5 minutes in. Why do you have so much money? You have free supply. You've got the larva. Hello? There we go. 7 drones. 4 Zerglings on the way. And yeah, Timbo lost this vision of the front, so he's got to be a little cautious now. He does have this Overlord here in position to fly in for a scout shortly, hopefully. And B-Breed's just going for a triple CC, pretty standard. Going for Marine tank for now. Timbo's got his creep spread progressing quite nicely. He does have 6 queens currently. That's a pretty nice number of queens. I wouldn't mind to see a few more because queens are just so good. Timbo taking up to a layer now. Still floating a lot of minerals. Needs to spend some more of that. Drone up. And yeah, the worker count a little too close for my liking. I mean, at this stage in the game, Zerg player should be comfortably ahead. He is now up 10 as those drones do spawn 9 more also on the way, so that's gonna put him up pretty nicely. Creep spread doing pretty well. And it's gonna come down to the tech and the engagements, it looks like. This B-Breed probably gonna go for some kind of timing attack, maybe with the 1-1 stim and combat shields. And we'll have to see how good Timbo's defense is. Looks like he's just gonna be using Ling Bane for now. No Hydroden or Spire in sight. Ling speed super delayed, but that's okay. B-Breed poked up with 2 Marines, but that's kind of all they were doing. And he's got some units like scattered around outside his base, not really sure why. He's got this Viking hunting for overlords. Already has 1 kill, going for a second one. Now Timbo going for a Spire, going for that classic Ling Bane Muta style, which I do like a lot. I think it's a very fun composition to watch. Timbo needs to think of a 4th base soon. Would have even liked it a minute or 2 earlier, because there's not too much else going on. But he does need to save money for Mutalisks now. Now, one criticism I have of Timbo, I do see quite often, is he gets the Spire, Spire finishes, and he doesn't get any Mutas. And then several minutes pass, he doesn't spend his money, and he starts up like 20 Mutas all at once. And then he just keeps them here. Let's see if he does that now as the Spire finishes. He starts +1 attack, but no, he's gonna get Mutas. Okay, so at least he's making use of that technology. And the next thing we're gonna have to look out for is Timbo's Muta control. You should absolutely fly across ASAP, harass the mineral lines, pick off whatever you can, maybe supply depots, maybe attachments. Just pester the Terran player. He is moving out with the Mutas now. Gonna regroup them here for now. And then just chill here, I guess. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Timbo just sits on his Mutas, doesn't really do anything. He's getting 8 more, which is not going to be too helpful against this attack. He needs to morph Banelings, and he needs to morph them 5 minutes ago. Right, maybe not 5 minutes, like 1 minute ago. Here comes B-Breed sieging up. It's all going to come down to how Timbo engages into this. Looks like he's going to use the Mutas to just go for a backstab. I like that because they're not really going to be too helpful here. But maybe not. Mutas can be useful to pick off the tanks, but with all this Marine, it's not going to go too well. Timbo just trickling in with not enough stuff. Like, you have 1,500 minerals. Why go for the fight at that moment? That makes no sense to me. Now he is potentially throwing this game as he's losing this 3rd base. Luckily he does have this 4th, which he can transfer his drones to, but his army not looking so hot right now. He does fly in with the Mutas to get some counter damage done, so that's nice. But these Banelings once again super late, and B-Breed might be able to jump on top of this, but no, it looks like they're gonna finish, and they're gonna get some nice hits, but it doesn't look like there's enough Banelings, and now Lings just trickling in one by one. How's the damage on the other side? Gets the main CC. That's a little crazy. 15 SCVs have gone down for the Terran, but look at this army in Timbo's natural. What can he do against this? He needs to morph more Banelings into the main, but he's just running in with pure Lings. That's not going to cut it. They don't do diddly. And yeah, the natural base goes down. Timbo going to take out the third, so it's still kind of close, but no, GG gets called. And B-Breed going to take game number 1. Alright, welcome back. This is game number 2 between the Blue Zerg Timbo Slice and the Red Terran B-Breed. This game gonna be played on Beckett Industries, as we have a pause request. Just figure out what's going on here, but let's talk about this map. We haven't seen this map in a while. And that's because it's not a good map. Rush distance is very short. And it was supposed to be taken out of rotation, out of the ladder pool. However, it's still in there, so we're going to be playing it. And yeah, generally this is going to favor the aggressive player. Let's give them a countdown. And resume. Okay, so Timbo forgot to set his lineup in fantasy. Yeah, so this is going to favor the aggressive player, which is most likely going to be B-Breed. So he will have probably an advantage in this game, unless Timbo goes for some kind of Baneling bust, which is not out of the equation. And it looks like he kind of messed up his build a little bit, because as that Overlord spawned, he went for 3 drones right away, so didn't catch the exact timings. But that usually means he went for a 14 Overlord by accident. Not the end of the world. And oh my god, is he going for a 3-hatch? Please, no, not on this map. Timbo, you absolute madman. And yeah, that's a 3-hatch before pool. That's crazy, because look at how short this distance is from the natural to the third. And you can factor in these speed zones that makes things even faster. But it's going to be a Marine first. So Timbo not going to be in too much danger just yet. This thing's just gonna shape up into the mid-game, I suppose. Now in the last game, I thought Timbo was in an okay spot. He had his like 20 mutas, whatever it was. But he went for a random engagement. He had like 1,500 minerals in the bank, just randomly decided to charge in with his Ling Bane from a singular angle. and just snowballed from there. Maybe he felt like he had to hold that third, but I mean, so much money in the bank. You really just wait for your reinforcements. And that's what Timbo suffers from quite often, isn't it? He floats a lot of money, doesn't have as big of an army as he's supposed to have. Then he goes for just a really poor engagement. He could have maybe tried for like a flank. If he really wanted to go for the fight right then and there, then maybe even include the mutas in it. But did not work out whatsoever. Tanks were too strong. The bio army was too strong. And Timbo ultimately succumbed to the Terran pressure. Now, in this game, he's getting speed and he's continuing to mine gas. Perhaps taking a page out of the Kevin Lee playbook. And we don't see a baneling nest or anything, so not really sure what this gas is for. So he's just droning up right now, which I don't mind at all, but this gas is a little questionable. Creep spread is starting, but needs to extend it past this third location. And B-breed. I'm gonna pick off that scouting overlord, but not before it sees pretty much everything in the main spots. That triple CC. It's kind of a weird spot for a CC, because generally you kind of put it near where you're gonna land, right? So it's not as much of a flying distance. Maybe put it here to land here. That's kind of a random spot. But he's going to have that triple SCV production, triple mules, and Timbo going to be going for a relatively early layer, going to be going for a baneling nest, and going for 4 gases. For additional gases, that's going to bring him up to 5. And that definitely smells like a Kevin Lee move. Let's see what he decides to do with all this gas, as the layer is done. I'm not putting drones on this gas just yet. Oh, there they go. 2 didn't quite make it. And it is going to be a Spire once again with double Evo chambers for nothing for now. Should probably get 1-1. Okay, not utilizing these for now. Alright, there we go. And look at this. 1,100 minerals. 26 Zerglings in production. Not sure what he saw that prompted that. Maybe he's just anticipating a move out, but yeah, he doesn't really have the best vision. Maybe it's just some safety Zerglings. Timbo is at a okay drone count at 60. And now he has some Lings. B-breed looking like he's doing the same thing as last game, with the exception of these missile turrets. So he is at least preparing for the sky transition, if you will. But I don't think he... Yeah, he scanned the natural, so he doesn't see the Spire. I'm not sure what prompted those missile turrets, if it's just the safety, or maybe he's just assuming it because he sees those 2 gases. Either way, it is the correct choice. Now Timbo's Spire did complete, and he's doing that thing where he doesn't get any mutas. And again, not spending his money. 1,600 minerals, 1,000 gas. He starts up 3 drones. Not sure why 3. And yeah, look at the spending. Hello. He's going for the 4th base. And like, how do you play and like see your money get so high and not think, oh crap, let me spend some of this? How can I see? Let's see. Alright, so this is Timbo's vision. Wait, yeah, so he is just slowly spreading his creep, la 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 la. He's got 2k minerals in the bank. Supply count's very even, but it shouldn't be, given all this money. Goes back to choose some injags, drops an infestation pit. And still not making anything. This is what I was referencing last game. He gets a Spire. He doesn't get any mutas. He started the upgrade for some reason, and now he's moving out with just pure Ling? What is going on? I don't understand this whatsoever. 23 Banelings. But now 23 more drones on the way. And okay, that's like droning up, that's good, but where are the mutas? Big attack going on now. Tanks not sieged. But again, this is not too big of an army from Timbo. The Banes do get some good shots, however. But most of the tanks do survive, and Timbo losing that entire army. Only just now starting up 42 Zerglings. And that's pretty much all his larva. He needed to spend his money earlier. Now this attack looking very, very scary. Look at the army counts. 71 for B-Breed, only 39 for Timbo. And he still has so much money in the bank. But he's just gonna fall to this, I think. Streaming in with only a few Zerglings once again. And now it's 80 army supply to 44, but half of that is in production. He rolls in once again with just pure Banelings, not waiting for his reinforcements. And there's still a Terran army at his base. B-Breed gonna stim, pick off a bunch of drones. And the reinforcing Zerglings gonna come out. They might clean this up. They do clean up all the bio. But the Medivacs and the Viking gonna get away. I think that was a good trade for the Terran player. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to get this base. That would have been a good pick-off. But he picks off a ton of army, a good amount of drones. And now Timbo has a hive. He's going for his Ultralisk Cavern. Still no mutas in sight. And Timbo kind of running in single file. Gonna lose all these Zerglings for practically free. Oh my god, what is this? Oh lord. He just trickles in his Zerglings. He did get 15 SCVs there, so that was nice. I'm not sure. I guess he had a run by into the natural. Must have missed that. But yeah, massive losses on the Zerg side. He does have a good economy though at 73 workers, floating so much money. Oh my goodness. But now the Ultralisk Cavern is done. 5 Ultras on the way. And again, he kept this base, so he is still mining at a 4 base efficiency. And things actually not looking too bad for Timbo. He is still down on army supply, but he has those big, beefy Ultralisks. He's gonna run in before the Ultralisk spawn, and that's not really that good, but it might be enough. It looks like, yeah, he is gonna clean up the bio here. Once again, the air unit's gonna get away. A couple Marauders might be able to get away as well. B-Breed, his tank production only one at a time. I would really like a second factory. All these units, they want to get out, but the door was closed. They do get out now. And Timbo is actually setting himself pretty nicely for the late game. He's going for a 5th base. He's got his upgrades finishing up, +3. He never started +3 armor. That's kind of a mistake because +3 armor is the more important one. Looks like he queued them both on the same Evo. Oh, that's unfortunate. That happens. But yeah, armor, typically a bit more useful, especially if you're going for ultras. But it might just be enough. The army counts still favoring B-Breed, but Ultralisk's pretty good, and B-Breed's army doesn't have too much to counter that. Only 3 tanks in this army, and once again B-Breed doing the thing he does where he just kind of hangs out in the middle of the map. 2 of these tanks are unsieged. Make that 3 as another one joins in. Random scan going down to clear up the creep over there. But B-Breed has to be careful because exactly, like don't do stuff like that on creep. But he does move in now. A lot of Marauders, and they're going to help against the Ultras. But this tank, once again, unsieged. Timbo coming in from 2 sides, which is good, but not really the sides that you want to come in from. And he didn't really have enough support for those Ultras. I didn't really see too many Lings or Banes, so that went pretty poorly for Timbo. And again, those Ultras lacking that last final armor to make them truly great. Timbo working on these rocks now, a bit late. Probably could have taken those down earlier. And once again, streaming in with just Lings. Gonna lose a lot. He's got 10 Ultras in production, but can they come out in time? B-Breed is already here. He's got +3 attack, +2 armor. His tanks need to join the fray. And here come the Ultralisks. Only 3 of them currently. And good control from B-Breed, kind of kiting backwards. He's got army everywhere. GG gets called in. B-Breed gonna take game number 2. Welcome back. This is game number 3 in this series between the Blue Zerg Timbo Slice and the Red Terror B-Breed. Pretty frustrating game number 2 for the Zerg player, and especially if you're a Zerg observer. Because Timbo, once again, as he usually do, doesn't spend his money. And he got a Spire. Even got air upgrades. Didn't get a single air unit. And yeah, kind of just what happens when you're floating 5k resources and not maxed out. Go for pretty poor fights. Once again, Timbo going for a 3 hatch. Why has he been doing this opening? Like, it's not bad considering B-Breed hasn't been going Reaper in these games. But it's very risky, and it's not like Timbo drones up that hardcore in the early game to saturate 3 bases. So kind of questionable, but he should be able to get away with it once again, as it is a Marine first. However, it's a 2-gas build this time. It's going to be a double factory pretty early on, so seems like perhaps the Blue Flame build that B-Breed has been going for occasionally, and that can be a very powerful build because Blue Flame obviously just melts Zerglings. That's typically what Zergs have in the early game. Timbo is going for triple queen rather. He's pulled off of gas, so he should be starting that speed momentarily. There we go. And it is Blue Flame out of the Terran player. And it looks like he's refined this build a little bit. In the past, he kind of only has a single factory, and then he slowly gets a second one, slowly makes the reactor on the second one. But this time, he went for a quick 2-factory, does a swapperoo onto the attachment. So he's going to get more Hellions than he has in the past. And Timbo doesn't really have much just yet. Only 3 queens, 2 more on the way. 3 more on the way now. And he went for a triple creep tumor, which is going to help with the creep spread, obviously, but he's floating 500 minerals 4 minutes into the game. And that might just be because he doesn't have enough larva to spend due to not injecting. But we do see he has 9 larvae, so okay, I can't even make excuses for you anymore, Timbo. The Blue Flame did finish. B-Breed has 8 Hellions, and he is moving out with them. Doesn't even have his expansion just yet. And he is going to drive underneath this Overlord, which should have spotted it, but was Timbo paying attention? Second Overlord in the middle of the map spots it as well, but Timbo just started, or just finished rather, 10 drones. He has no army. These queens have so much work to do, but no. GG gets called. That's a quick game number 3. Alright, looks like we are speed running this series because we are already at game number 4 between this man, the blue Zerg player, Timbo Slice, and his red Terran opponent, who is up 3 games to 0. It's B-Breed. So remember at the start of the series when I said I favored Timbo because of their last result, which was a 4-2? Yeah, I was totally wrong because B-Breed has been absolutely dominating. He is up 3-0. And Timbo is just not playing well. Can't really sugarcoat it. He is going for a hatch gas pool. Looks like no 3 hatch this time, I think. Yep, gonna be hatch gas pool. And B-Breed single gas. Most likely gonna get a Marine. Yep. Kind of interesting that B-Breed doesn't like to open Reaper anymore. Maybe the micro on that Reaper a little too much for him. I don't know. The Marine's gonna come out, gonna start shooting at this Overlord as it changes its trajectory to go onto this little hologram thing, which is projecting a Zergling. I never noticed that before. That's kind of funny. Why? And there's a little text there. What does it say? Genetic mutations found. Synthetic DNA something. I don't know. Oh, what's this? That's a Tempest, it looks like? Probability of frame shift mutation 13%. I have no idea what that means. But that's kind of cool. Never noticed this before. Does it have one on this side? Oh. It's a little bit... Oh no, it's the same. That's a Tempest there. Not too much going on in the game to really talk about. Timbo's gotten his 3rd base. He's getting his speed. B-Breed. Looks like he's doing something similar to the first 2 games. Bio, tank, with upgrades play. And Timbo has his Overlord in position to scout. Where are these guys fighting? Because look, down there it looks like there's another city, so they're in some kind of floating space station or something. I'm not sure what this little... what do you even call this? Thingy-do is. Kind of neat. Engineering bays finished for B-Breed, but not getting his upgrades just yet. Maybe waiting for some more money. And B-Breed slow to finish his wall once again. Not going to pay the price for it in this matchup, but something to think about. Scouting Overlord does go down. What did he see though in the main? Pretty much everything. Okay, so good scout from Timbo. And there are the 1-1 upgrades for B-Breed. And now Timbo's running across with a handful of Zerglings. Not really sure what he aims to do here, but there is an opportunity. He could slip in, the door is open. but he's not really doing anything. Looks like might just be positioning a couple Zerglings to scout. That's perfectly fine as well. Timbo's at 45 workers. That's a pretty good number. B-Breed has not been producing his SUVs that well. Only at 24 currently. And Timbo now shooting up to 50 something. He has his own 1-1 on the way, maybe about 30 seconds behind B-Breed's. He does have his layer done. He is starting that Baneling speed. Very, very important upgrade that Timbo does forget sometimes, but not in this game. So, good job by him to remember that. And still no further tech. He's going for a macro hatchery. That's kind of weird. I would have preferred just a 4th base. You don't even have to saturate it right away. You can just use it for the production. And then you have that base later on whenever you want to get it. B-Breed's moving out now. A Marine tank army with a single Marauder mixed in. And Timbo starts up 12 Banelings, 24 more Zerglings on the way. I do hope he waits for his 1-1 as there are only about 15 seconds away from completing. B-Breed venturing onto creep once again, so Timbo is fully aware of this. Please wait for your upgrades as these 3 pivotal upgrades seconds from finishing. Please wait. Timbo, please, please, please. He's setting up a surround, which I like a lot. And now is the time. The upgrades are done. Here we go. Beautiful engagement there. Well, not quite because those Banelings crashed into a tank. But it was a good idea. The Baneling control. Reminiscent of something we see from another Zerg player. I won't mention his name, but I think most of you know who I'm talking about. And B-Breed, yeah, he kind of lucked out with that fight, because if those Banelings went for the bio, this push would have been absolutely shut down. And the reinforcing Lings might be able to... No, they don't. They do get the tank, however. And now Timbo forced to evacuate this base. Gonna lose 8 drones in the process. 9 and 10. Likely going to go down as well. And now Timbo, how do you have so much money? What the heck? More Lings and Banes in production. And yeah, this is why I would have liked that macro hatch over there in the first place. He could have transferred his workers there. But yeah, things are looking pretty dire for Timbo. He somehow feels confident enough to start 2-2. Guess he doesn't have too much larva anyways. And he still has this vision from the creep, so he can set up a good engagement here. But he really needs to not let Banelings crash into tanks or Marauders. And he's going to run in. Let's see what happens. Banelings not going for the Marauders, but the target firing from B-Breed pretty good. Tank does go down, so that's something, but the supply does not lie. B-Breed at 100, Timbo at only 80. And B-Breed moving in. Gonna catch all these Banelings. Wait, he's not target firing the Banelings? Doesn't matter. GG gets called, and B-Breed goes up 4-0. Welcome back. This is game number 5, and we are looking at the base of the Blue Zerg, who is currently down 0-4. It is Timbo Slice. And this is his red Terran opponent, up 4 games to nothing. B-Breed. Another frustrating game out of Timbo in the last game. He was in a good position, once again, as he tends to find himself in, and then kind of bungles it by either not spending his money, not having enough army, or in the case of last game, crashing all his banelings into a tank. He set up the double prong surround and had all the makings of a beautiful fight, but the banelings decided to crash into a single tank. Very unfortunate there. Looks like Timbo went for a bit of a cancel on that gas, and if ever there's a map to do this opening, this would be the right one, because this is a massive map. 3 hatch before pool it is. Normally I don't like this, but again, this map super huge, so I don't mind it. B-Breed not going for a Reaper once again. Now the only thing I can mention is this third base. I probably would have went for this one, just because these rocks can be a nightmare to deal with if a Terran siege is like right there. It's like super hard for your lings to get a good angle on that. Like if you have a tank here, you have your bio army over here, it's really hard to engage into that. Marine venturing out onto the map, probably not going to get this Overlord. Another Overlord here on top of this thing. Gotta be careful in situations like this, because you see how it's not quite centered. So it is possible that B-Breed sees this, as yeah, you see his vision, he does spot it barely. And this Overlord gonna make its way on top of this thing. Looks like this one is centered enough. And all the hatcheries are done. Timbo starts 6 lings. That's curious. Generally not really needed on this map. Not sure what he spotted that. Oh, see, that's what I was talking about. You had your Overlord not quite center, and yeah, that's what happens. And now this Overlord gonna go down. So yeah, it's something for you Zerg players to be wary of. You gotta make sure they are as center as possible. You can have you can be slightly off, like this guy. But the other one was a bit off center. I think it was like here or something. And the Marines were able to spot it. No creep spread out of Timbo this game. Only a single tumor here. Looks like he is going to start that, however. So that's good. 500 minerals in the bank. Kind of a lot for this stage of the game. He starts up 4 more drones, 3 more queens. He is going for a baneling nest. And getting additional gases, 2 and 3. And here are those first 6 lings that we saw before. They do have ling speed, but they're not really going to find any damage if they run up the ramp, which is why I thought 6 was kind of weird. But 24 more in production, no layer in sight. So is Timbo thinking of a baneling bust? That would be quite bad because there are 2 tanks already. However, this wall is weak. 2 supply depots for the price of 1 if Timbo goes for that. However, the tank's going to be quite formidable, so I don't know if he's really going to go for it. He does have a lot of lings for no reason though, and we do see the worker counts very even. Now we have 3 tanks, but 2 of them not sieged. They do siege up now. And yeah, again, that is something B-Breed does quite often, and it scares me. It's not having his tanks sieged. These lings going to be quite useless, and that is reflected in whatever the heck it is they are doing right now. They're just going to go home, it looks like. Lots of creep queens, so that's good. Gonna ramp up the creep spread, laying a bunch of tumors. I would like to see these lings work on the rocks. I mean, they have nothing better to do. And Timbo going for the 1-1 upgrades. Just finishing up the saturation on these bases. Getting a Hydra Den, which is his bread and butter. And B-Breed going to be landing his 3rd base there. Again, would like to see a quicker 4th out of Timbo. And these lings, once again, could be more active. Viking clearing up overlords. That's super annoying. That's going to supply block Timbo, who at 106 out of 98 probably should have started overlords earlier, even before that overlord died. Now he starts up 3. And he's going for a Nidus network. That is cute. He does have an overseer here. It's all going to depend on if B-Breed's paying attention to the minimap. It looks like Ling Bane. Hydraless Den is done, but no Hydras just yet. Does have the supply for it. These overlords do pop. Big scan going down, spotting that Nidus. B-Breed's just gonna move out though. And now he is in the middle of the map, gonna take out a couple of these creep queens. Timbo now morphing in some Banelings. He has 12 Hydras in production, but again, those could have been a lot earlier with the completion of that Hydraless Den. A lot of creep gonna go down, but no tanks with this army. So it is very vulnerable to what Timbo has. Timbo's just gonna run in. B-Breed forced to do a hot pickup and leave the rest of the bio army for dead. So I guess you call that a hold out of Timbo. These tanks, once again, not sieging up, giving me massive anxiety. Like, what if Timbo just went for a huge counter right now and none of these tanks are sieged? Oh my god. And still not sieged. Oh god. That is so scary. Timbo, however, not going for that counter. He's just hanging out here, respreading the creep, which is good. At least he is on top of that. Still floating a lot of money. Timbo's actually down in supply. He is getting that 4th base finally. And his worker count, not stellar. 53 to the 50 of the Terran. So that's another criticism I have of him. This is what I mentioned before in one of the previous games. He goes for the triple hatch, but he doesn't even fully saturate it. As we see, almost 10 minutes into the game, this base 11 out of 16. This base 12 out of 10. This base 14 out of 16. But he did load up a bunch of stuff into this Nidus. He's looking for a spot here with this Overseer. Might just go for it in the middle of the base. That's a little bit crazy. Okay, he's going to drop that down here. But Marine's going to get that no problemo. And yeah, there's no blind spot really in B-Breed's base. It's just all going to depend on whether he's paying attention. He was on that initial Nidus, so good catch there. And still not spending money. 2,500 minerals in the bank. He starts up 24 drones. That's good, but like you could have started that way earlier. Now the mineral's going up to 3,000. He has 19 larvae. Not spending it. He still has all his units loaded up into the Nidus, and B-Breed moving out with an absolutely massive army right now. Marines, Marauders, Medivacs, and how many tanks is this? 8 tanks. And here he comes. Sieging up his first tank. Second tank sieging up. Timbo does unload, thankfully. Good thing he didn't forget about his army, but look at the army supply. Massively in the favor of B-Breed. Timbo cannot engage this from one angle if he wants to defend this. And thank you for setting up the flank, but wait, no, what are you doing? Oh no, he's just going from a different singular angle. Oh no. So this third base is going to be forfeit. Big scan, dropping in the middle of the map, going to see the entirety of Timbo's army and their positioning. A little too many Hydras with this army, but that is Timbo's MO. Typically you have like a smattering of Hydras, maybe 10, at most 20 Hydras, and the rest Ling Bane. We see Timbo has 32 Hydras and only 40 Zerglings. And keep in mind, Hydras only have 90 HP, so they are very squishy. He does pick off that command center and 15 SCVs, but here is the Terran army gonna get another base. He needs to siege up, and he does. But these 3 tanks kind of vulnerable. Timbo running in from a single angle. Good control from the Banelings, not letting them crash into the tanks, but look at this. Just like choking everything in here. Is it going to be good enough? I don't think so. And yeah, Timbo just absolutely blundering that. GG, B-Breed with the 5-0. Alright, welcome back. This is game number 6 in this series between the Blue Zerg, Timbo Slice, and the Red Terran, B-Breed. B-Breed with the 5-0. And Timbo has not had an answer thus far. This map, Hardwire. Pretty balanced map, not as massive as the last one, not as tiny as Beckett or Curious Minds. And Timbo going to be going for the hatchery first. Let's see if he goes for a gas or if he does that 3 hatch once again. Looks like it is going to be the gas. And B-Breed with the 1 gas opening. So going to be standard. And there's not really too much to talk about on this map. There's no like holograms. There's no like, conveyor belts. I guess there are these cleaning bots. I'm not sure why there are cleaning bots. Is this like Wall-E? This is like a deserted Earth, and these Wallies are trying to clean. We've got some in this base too, here. And is there only one? Oh, there's one here in the natural. B-Breed going for second barracks as well as a factory. Gonna try to get this Overlord, but it should be safe here on top of this, whatever this is, control panel thingy majiggy. Oh, here's something to talk about. Look at this. There's a Baneling in a research capsule here. And in this other one, there's a High Templar, it looks like. So this is some kind of Terran research base, and they're researching Zerg and Protoss units, I guess. And over on this side, we've got hard to see, but it looks like that's also a Baneling, and that must be another High Templar. Reactor on the factory as well as one of the barracks, but not getting any factory units just yet. Starport also going down. So this is kind of a 2-1-1 opening. That refers to the 2 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport. As typically it means double drop, but I don't think B-Breed's going to be going for that. That's not really his style. He is also getting Hellions. Timbo, desperate for a win. Looks like he's just going to flood in with Zerglings, and that might just work. There is no wall here. B-Breed not lifting the door. Oh no! The Lings get in. They're going to kill everything. And we might finally be seeing a Timbo victory as he floats 700 minerals 4 minutes into the game. But it doesn't matter. There's just so much in here. Wait, this wall is not even tight? Oh, what a disaster. 10 SCVs going down. 30 more Lings in production. Can B-Breed stabilize before they arrive? I don't know if he noticed that that wall was open. And here they come. They are marching across and not gonna go for the natural. B-Breed did finish up that wall. However, can he defend against these Banelings? He sees it. What is he gonna do? He needs to wall up but is it too late? I think yes. The Banelings bust open the door, and here comes the Ling Bane. Kind of a weird angle to go from. Like, why not go for this one so it's a easier path? But alright, now he's gonna funnel through. That's one way to botch the attack. Might not matter still. There's more Banelings morph in the corner. Nice move there. Gets 8 more SCVs in the process. More Lings spilling in. They're gonna just back away. And that's good damage already. I mean, better than good. 4 SCVs remaining. Mules are good, but they're not that good. And Timbo, I don't think he's done just yet. 6 more Banelings being morphed out here. B-Breed perhaps feeling like the rush is over. Gonna land his orbital, but surprise! And that's gotta be it, right? There, the wall non-existent, and yes, finally, Timbo gonna put himself on the board.